This is the most sculpted I've ever been in a pair of shorts. They made the straps way too long. They nailed the fit on this. I just really feel like I will fall out of this one. High on the booty scale, of course. I mean, that's a given with these. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're filming the first Buffbunny launch in my new place, which isn't really a landmark, but we have the Buffbunny StrongAF collection. This is kind of like a Juicy 2.0. Last year we had the Juicy collection, which was a collab with Bailey, and they launched the Miracle Seamless legging, which was Buffbunny's first shapewear legging, like the under glute compression, just super sculpted. And there were supposed to be Miracle shorts, but they didn't make it into the collection. So this is the first time we are seeing the Miracle shorts. There are literally like 15 colors of the Miracle Seamless leggings and shorts in this collection, including a bunch of ombre colors. So we got a lot of brights, a lot of ombre combos for my color-loving girlies, which I'm very excited about. But for my neutral girlies, don't be scared. There are a lot of nice neutrals, solid colors, and just more muted shades as well. So there is a little something for everyone. In addition to the Miracle Seamless shorts, we do have the leggings, and then there are a bunch of different seamless bra options. Most of them we've seen before, but they do have some modifications, so I will be comparing the old ones. And then we also have tie-dye aggressive scrunch, which is a new addition, and these seamless long sleeve tees, which if you know me, I love a seamless long sleeve. So I was very excited about this. Anyways, this collection is launching on Saturday, August 16th at the normal 1 p.m. Central Time. And as always, you can use code Kathryn for 10% off. Just a reminder, sometimes you guys forget to enter my monthly giveaway. Anyone can enter the giveaway for free, so you can just enter it down below. You don't even have to make a purchase. But if you do use my codes or links for anything, you can get some extra entries down below. So that's always in my description. And without further ado, let's get into the review. I do want to start the video by saying that if you are not a big seamless girly or scrunch girly, this just isn't going to be the launch for you. Basically, the Miracle Seamless shorts never made it in the first launch, so they really wanted to focus on those, and then the aggressive scrunch, so those are really the only bottoms launching this time. This was almost going to be treated as a restock, but then they did so many colors that it became a launch and turned out to be quite the launch. But a lot of my favorite pieces are not in this collection. I did really grow to love the Miracle Seamless shorts, but if you're not into super in-your-face compression or scrunches, this launch may be a skip, and say it with me, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, people. Your wallet will thank you. It's okay to not like every launch, and you shouldn't shop every launch, okay? So normally I have a section on colors, but since there's so many different colors, I'm just gonna put the colors up on the screen here. There are a bunch of different ombre combinations, but most of the colors we have seen before. It's just the ombre combinations that are new. I will say the tops in solid colors in this more lightweight seamless don't perfectly match the seamless bottom colors, so keep that in mind. Sometimes you can get a little bit of color differences across fabrics, and you definitely notice it with these seamless tops. All right, we're going to start off with the seamless bottoms because that's what everyone wants to know. So we are kicking things off with the Miracle Seamless shorts. So we have seen Miracle Seamless before, but these are the first shorts. So they are called the Miracle Seamless 6-inch shorts, but what's the inseam? 7 inches, not 6. I measured all of them. I tried them on and I was like, these don't feel like a 6-inch, and they are 7, so I don't know why they call that in the name. I should probably point that out to someone that that's just like a little bit misleading. They did make some modifications to the Miracle Seamless, but we mostly see that with the leggings. Since these are new, we're just gonna go over the main features of these. So the Miracle Seamless shorts are made of the stretchy shape seamless fabric. It is a slightly marled fabric. Here is an up close of the fabric. All of the colors do have a little bit of marl to them. I like a little bit of marl in my fabrics. I feel like it hides a little skin texture, and I just like the way they look. So these were meant to be more of a mid-rise, but they do kind of hit around the high rise, maybe mid to high rise, so around a belly button fit. We do have a sewn on waistband. It does dip down slightly in the front, and then the back is where we have all the fun. So the front of the waistband is just a single tier of ribbing. In the back, we actually have 2 separate areas of ribbing, a little bit more compressive on the bottom, a little bit less on the top. That transition happens just around like the hip bone area at the front. Since we have the sewn on waistband, we're able to get that V contour at the top of the glutes here. That's very flattering. Instead of having a scrunch, there's just a short back rise seam that sits between the glutes. But the benefits of this is you don't get any shininess, and I actually find it to not cause too much tension in the crotch. So I actually like the short back rise seam. The height's going to vary based on size, but it's around 3 inches. We have the thinnest area of the fabric over the glute here. So this area is ultra thin, so it doesn't squish your glutes down at all. And then contouring around the sides and underneath the glute, we have that Miracle Seamless compression area. One thing that I feel like sets the Miracle Seamless apart from other compression style leggings and shorts is the compression really comes from the front and then wraps around. So it really gives you like this rounded look. And these shorts have 2 layers of compression underneath. The compression was increased from the Miracle Seamless leggings. So we have the ultra compressive area right underneath the glutes and then a slightly less compressive area. And then you just have the regular fabric at the bottom. So it's still nice and stretchy around the thigh area and doesn't cut in. So I did get 3 different sizes of the Miracle Seamless shorts to compare them for you guys to help you with sizing. So my true size is a small, but I also got an extra small and a medium. It seems like maybe you should size up because they're a compressive short if you're worried about it, but I would absolutely not recommend sizing up in these shorts at all. I'll insert my little side-by-side of the 3 sizes. But the mediums had so much extra fabric, not only in the front, but also like right above the glutes in the back, that honestly makes your butt look smaller because it makes it look like deflated, and I was not feeling the mediums at all. The waistband compression still kind of stayed pretty similar for me in all of the sizes, so I didn't feel like I needed to really size up for any more space in the waistband. The small fit very well after a workout. I feel like after you work out in these, they really settle into place. You get a little bit of a glute pump and you can fill out the space a little bit more. I don't have Bailey Stewart size cheeks, okay? So I did not fill this out to the max in the small until really after my workout. Then things were looking a little bit better. But the extra small honestly fit very well right off the gate. And I have worn extra small in the Miracle Seamless leggings. The shorts are a lot easier to get on. So if you're thinking about it, I think you could size down. You get a little more lift under the glutes. There was no extra space at the top even before my workout. I was still comfortable throughout my workout, maybe a little bit more crotch tension, but I didn't ever get any camel toe. I literally wore them to the gym this morning and I was totally fine. The waistband was definitely most snatching on that extra small. So if you do run a little bit bigger in the waist, stick with your true size. But if you don't mind a little waistband compression, I think the extra smalls looked the best. So now let's try them on. Here we have the Miracle Seamless shorts. So these do hit me a little bit higher than the leggings. I would consider these more of a true high rise. We have that compressive waistband. This is the size small, so this is my true size, which I'm kind of between this and the extra small. I do think I slightly prefer the extra small just for the back, so we'll see that. Little gathering in the front. Again, it's kind of normal for a seamless legging. I also kind of hiked these up just a little bit because they are 7-inch inseam and I do prefer a 6-inch for my gym shorts. Very stretchy at the bottom of the thigh area, but not so much that they don't stay put. These do stay put. I have worn these for 3 workouts now, all different colors. They stay put super, super well. So no rolling, no sliding. I really love how these perform in the gym. And they just feel better after every exercise because they kind of like situate themselves in the back. You get a little bit of a glute pump and then they just fit perfectly. Also, this ombre is my favorite of the colors. I'm a sucker for a teal ombre. And then at the side, we can start to see that contour detailing. We have those contoured seams up at the top here. So in my true size small, these don't really feel like a short glute friendly legging. They do go all the way up to my hip bones a little bit, and I do have a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit of extra fabric right at the top here. So if you are more of a short glute girly, I think sizing down is the move. We'll try on the extra smalls next. The size down just does give you a little bit of a shorter glute seam in the back, but these are still super flattering. This area is nice and stretchy. It doesn't squish the glutes down. Have that contour that goes underneath the cheeks, and it sits perfectly right where the crease is. On everyone I've seen, it hits them perfectly. So they really perfected these. Overall, I'm getting about a medium compression on these, but you do get more like medium to high right underneath the glutes. You do get a little bit of cellulite coverage here just because most of this is ribbed, but it doesn't have the same level of ribbing that the leggings have. And I would consider these thick thigh friendly. Okay, and here are the extra smalls. I did get 2 colors in the extra small, the sage ombre and the lipstick red. I do get more of a similar rise to the leggings in these extra small shorts. So these are hitting more mid to high. These smalls are hitting more high rise. Overall, just like a half point more compression. So the smalls felt like a medium compression. These are more medium to high. The waistband is a little bit more compressive as well. Definitely a high compression on the waistband. If you hate being compressed on the waistband, don't size down. But I just feel like these are so much more flattering in the back now that I've sized down. A little bit of crotch tension, but not really any camel toe. The thighs are still okay in the size down. And then we go to the back, and I just feel like this is the most sculpted I've ever been in a pair of shorts. The extra smalls just fit perfectly in the back, much more short glute friendly. The seam on the extra smalls is very short. The way that this seam sits on the glutes right now, I feel like is giving more shelf than the small, and I don't have a shelf. As well as a little bit more compression underneath. You just get this really rounded, sculpted look. So I just much prefer the look of the extra small. The last thing I want to say is don't wear shapewear style shorts all the time, or else like I know people who get body dysmorphia because they like don't recognize themselves in just like non-shapewear bottoms. So keep these for special occasions. I will say, you know, I've just seen it before. So yes, my glutes are enhanced in these shorts, but I still love my body in any pair of shorts. Maybe not pancake booty shorts, but you know what I mean. I did just want to point out the area where the waistband changes and you get the 2 levels of ribbing at the side. You can kind of see it goes up a little bit higher in the back because of that change. So it changes kind of around the line angle, I would say, right here. For my Miracle Seamless leggings and shorts, I decided to do the sticker squat test. So I'm putting the sticker on one of the cheeks so you can see how it shears out. I tried to do the regular double squat test where I do a nude thong and a patterned pair of underwear, but the underwear kind of stretched out the fabric because these are meant to go between the cheeks, and I didn't feel like it was a super accurate squat test. So just for these seamless, I am going to use the sticker squat test. Also keep in mind, sizing down, you will get a little bit more sheerness. Next, we have the Miracle Seamless leggings. I won't spend too much time on these because they're very similar to the Miracle Seamless shorts. So we have that sewn-on waistband, no front seam, oval gusset. I'll have to measure the inseam on these. I said they were 26 inches last time, but I feel like they're shorter and they just have vertical stretch, but I will double check. In the back, we do have the curved seams, that short back rise that acts as a scrunch. And then on the leggings, they're slightly different than the shorts. We have 3 layers of ribbing in the back. So you have the ultra compressive area right under the glutes, a little transition layer that's a little bit less compressive, but still sculpting. And then you have a more dense ribbed area that kind of goes down to the knee. And this is going to give you some cellulite coverage in the back and just kind of ease that transition down the leg. The shorts do not have this final area. So we did just get Miracle Seamless in the, I believe, Unbreakable collection, but they have made some changes. So I'm gonna insert a side-by-side of the Unbreakable Miracle Seamless versus the StrongAF Miracle Seamless. Biggest changes, the under glute compression was moved up. In the first launch, it was a little bit low and it was giving you kind of double cheek effect. I have not experienced any double cheek effect so far. The under glute placement for the leggings and shorts, honestly, spot on. They also added about 20% more compression under the glutes. They said they added this in the Unbreakable collection, so it should be very similar to that. And the biggest change is they did update the front and back rise to bring them down a little bit. These were never meant to be a super ultra high rise legging. That's just kind of how they turned out to be. So I'll insert a photo of the measurements, but this rise from the gusset to the waistband was definitely decreased. And I'm hoping that this helps in the back because I did get a size small in these. And I'm hoping that reduced glute space works a little bit better for me without having to size down. So let's try these on. Okay guys, here are the Miracle Seamless updated version. These fit so much better than the Unbreakable version. I feel no need to size down in the leggings. I feel like the leggings, they got the rise in the back right. In the shorts, it was still kind of feeling a little bit more like the Unbreakable collection. So this is how they were meant to fit. So they did decrease the rise 2 inches, but with that, I'm still getting no camel toe. So that is honestly very impressive. I'm getting about a mid to high rise. I see like a peak of belly button. It's not quite to the smallest point of my waist, but I actually like where it's hitting me. For most people, this probably will cover your belly button. We have the compressive waistband here that's snatching, but I don't think it's too much. I'm not uncomfortable. No front seam. I do have a little bit of gathering here, which is pretty normal for seamless leggings. And the base of the legging is pretty compressive. Honestly, the whole legging does feel a little bit more compressive and just a little bit tighter than the Unbreakable ones. I just tried them on. Those did feel a little bit bigger overall. So if you found the need to size down in the Unbreakable, no need to size down this time. I recommend everyone stick true to size. If you're in between though, I still would probably size down because these are meant to be compressive and lifting. And then on the side, we start to get that little contour detail. Again, because of the changes that they made, I'm not getting that extra fabric above the glutes there. It all sits nicely right like just below the hip bones. I would consider these like medium to short glute friendly. The Miracle Seamless shorts, I feel like if you have short glutes, you really have to size down. High on the booty scale, of course. I mean, that's a given with these. And you really get that rounding effect. The compression, I feel like, is perfect this time. It's not so compressive that you can't even get it on, but it's just enough to contour, not getting any double butt going on. The short back rise seam sits right between the glutes. No shine, but still gives some separation. And I feel very comfortable squatting in these. There's always going to be a little bit of tension with anything that has kind of a, you know, scrunch-like effect. But compared to something with a true scrunch, I actually find it a little bit less. Again, with the Miracle Seamless leggings, you are getting cellulite coverage all the way down the leg. Honestly, this color, it feels like a medium to high compression. I'm feeling pretty snatched everywhere except for over the glutes, which is nice and thin. Full length view. These have a good amount of vertical stretch, so if you're tall, you will be able to get a good length out of these. And yeah, for me, I still think I prefer the shorts because the leggings just take a lot more work to get on, but I'm very happy with the changes that they made with these, and I feel like these are super, super flattering. All right, next we're moving on to seamless sports bras, which I'm very excited that they included a whole range of seamless bra options, from options for the smaller cup size girlies to options with more coverage for the larger cup size girlies. So I just love to see this range, but we do have quite a few changes to old bras. So first up, we have the Halter seamless sports bra. This was actually from my Buffbunny collab, but when it was my Buffbunny collab, it was itty bitty like this, and I was never expecting it to be this itty bitty. I actually ended up sizing up, and because this is such a stretchy, seamless sports bra, you actually are able to get good coverage, but we were all kind of like, okay, this is like a little bit itty bitty on the coverage. So they basically made it a whole new sports bra. This is the new, this is the old. So we have this V neckline. It is called a halter, but it has the optional T-back strap, which I really like because it takes all the tension out of the neck. So I'm still able to wear it without any discomfort. We have this scrunch in the middle to create this ruched effect. And then, so they increased a lot of the coverage up here, but they also increased the length of that bottom band to be 1 full inch. So you do have a little bit more of a long line effect. This is also an inverted V, which I always find very flattering. Also, on almost all of the seamless bras in this launch, they added a little mesh lining to keep the pads in place better. So here's the new one. You can see there is a mesh lining on the inside of that cup pad space, which is pretty typical for them to have in their sports bras. They just weren't putting it in all the seamless bras. This is the original one. It just goes straight to a layer of fabric with no mesh, so that helps the pads stay in place a lot better. The pads also look to be a much better size. I feel like they were trying to shove like giant pads into this little bra last time, and this pad is not like rolling over at the edges or anything. And then in the back, we do have the embroidered Buffbunny logo. Just a quick side-by-side of the old versus the new, just to show just how much coverage was increased. And then because I had sized up in this bra in the past, I did also get a medium. So we'll also do a side-by-side of the small versus the medium and chat about which one is a little bit better. So let's try these on. Okay, we have the new Halter seamless. This is the size small, so it fits, I would say, mostly true to size, but you can size up. I'll try on the medium in a second. We have that V neckline, but this went from being a low to medium coverage to medium to full. I basically have a little peep of cleavage, but there's zero chance of me falling out. I have worn this to the gym. No problems. It is a little bit compressive in the size small, but not in an uncomfortable way. Personally, I like to be compressed in a sports bra. This is now more of a long line sports bra. It does go down onto the rib cage a little bit here. The support is, I would honestly say it could be a medium high support depending on your cup size. The size up for me, I would say is more medium support. So I think we'll just put it there. Pretty good side boob coverage here. You have that flattering ruched detail in the front. And then it is a halter, so you can remove this strap entirely. I prefer to keep it on to take some tension off the neckline here. I don't love a true halter, so I like that this has the T-back. Still keeps it very open. Scoops away from the lats in the back as well. And this little back strap is adjustable, which is nice. So for the large busted girlies, this is going to be my #1 pick for a seamless bra. It has great coverage and support, but is a little bit more shapely than the Form seamless. Okay, with the changes, I didn't think I was going to like the medium, but I actually think the medium fits me perfectly. It's still plenty snug along the bottom band. It's not like super tight, but I don't have any extra fabric anywhere. So I think if you are a larger cup size, you might feel a little bit more comfortable in a size up. I just have a little bit more room in the bust and I'm not super squished, and I have really good coverage. I would say even medium to full coverage. The next sports bra we have is the Plunge seamless sports bra. This one was first seen in the Juicy collection. Even though this was kind of an IBTC sports bra, it actually worked really well for me in the past. It was a cleavage moment, but she was contained. Unfortunately, they did make some changes that I don't love to this one. So first of all, we have this deep V neckline made of the stretchy seamless fabric. We do have a ribbed seamless area along the bottom to create that bra band and be nice and secure. We have these crisscross adjustable straps in the back, and it's just a very minimalist open back here. I'll do a side-by-side to show the changes they made. They said that the coverage isn't really reduced too much, but they kind of just moved the coverage out. So if you're more of like a medium to narrow chested girly, you might have some issues with this. So if you liked the OG girlfriend bra, you'll probably be okay with this. If you didn't like the OG girlfriend bra like me, you'll probably not like these changes. It is quite a bit wider set. They also loosened up the bottom band because it was a little bit tight before. I kind of like my sports bra bands to be tight, so I didn't really have a problem with it before. Just like the last seamless bra I was saying, thing, they added that little mesh layer on the inside to keep the cup pads in place a little bit better. And lastly, they also added some cushioning to the straps because people were finding them to dig in a little bit. So you can see that difference in the strap thickness here. They're both spaghetti strap, but the original was just like a sewn seamless. And now they added actually a little bit of padding in there. So it's a lot more cushiony and they're going to cut in a lot less. So I'm liking these like little changes of adding the mesh and cushioning the straps, but not so much the change of making it wider. So let's try it on. Okay, here is the Plunge seamless sports bra. First of all, they did the thing where they shoved like giant cup pads into a small space. So I don't understand why they don't just get smaller cup pads because it's completely folded at the edge here. I will take it out to show. But yeah, you can see the place where it was folded. They tried to put this size of a cup pad into, I mean, it looks like it should fit, but for some reason it doesn't. It was literally folded up like this in here. So really bummed about the changes to this bra because the original Plunge seamless I could wear to the gym. This one, I really wanted to wear it to the gym, but I just don't know if it's gonna work. It's very wide, so I just really feel like I will fall out of this one. I would give this a low to medium coverage. It does go very wide on the sides, so no side boob. It's just all in the middle, and this is where I fall out of my bras. It does feel maybe a little bit looser along the bottom, but it's still nice and snug in the band. True to size, if you're in between, probably size up still because the band is like a little bit snug. I do appreciate them making the straps a little bit more cushiony because I did tighten them quite a bit just to try to get some more security there. So it's a little bit less painful. And then in the back, we have the crisscross straps. Very minimal. The back is very similar to what it was before. So for my smaller cup size girlies, this is probably better for you, as well as more wide set busts. In terms of support, low. We have another seamless bra. We have the Wonder Seamless. Again, we first saw this in the Juicy collection. And now she's back with some changes. This is another more large bust friendly seamless option. It's not high support, but it does have good coverage. Stretchy seamless material. We have a little V neckline, but it sits pretty high up, as well as some ruching along the front. Ribbed bra band with that kind of inverted V shape again. And then in the back, there's another little V shape with the embroidered Buffbunny logo. And the straps can be worn either straight up and down, crossing in the back, but I think they're a little bit more flattering and kind of more meant to be worn crisscrossed in the front like this. Again, we did see this bra in the Juicy collection. The main changes, they added that mesh layer. They added some cushioning to the straps. And again, I'll do a little side by side. It just seems to be running a little bit bigger. Like I honestly feel like I could size down, and I did not feel like I could size down in the original one. And they also made the straps like insanely long. You can see I am almost at the end of the strap being tightened here. And on the last Wonder Seamless Sports Bra, they were almost at the end like loosened. So I feel like they made the straps way too long. So let's try these on. All right, here we have the Wonder Seamless Sports Bra. This one is definitely just running a little bit bigger than the first one. I felt like the first one was giving a little bit more delicate, and this one, I don't know, I feel like I get a little bit less of this little keyhole detail, and I don't like how much I have to tighten the straps. Like I don't like seeing them so far forward here. Like this isn't even that tight, and we are almost at the end of the adjustability of the strap. So they definitely made the straps too long. The fit of this is still pretty good, but I would consider sizing down. I think I could easily do an extra small. If you have a small cup size, I definitely recommend sizing down. So we have that ribbed band along the bottom, slight inverted V. Honestly, it's full coverage. I'm getting like the tiniest bit of side boob, but zero chance of falling out. The support is pretty low support. Honestly, it's just kind of there with some straps. It almost feels like a bandeau that has a little strap, not really like getting a lot of lift out of these straps. I will show it the other way to wear it as well. We have that ruche detailing in the front, lots of stretch. I do appreciate the extra cushioning on the neck strap now because it's a little bit more comfortable. It does come up a little bit into the lats, but I don't feel it too much because it is pretty stretchy. And then we have that back band with the Buffbunny logo back there. Then let me try it on with the other way. So you can also wear the straps like this, but I don't really recommend it because you do get a little bit of a weird bunching of the fabric there. I think I probably doubled. Nope, then it's more crisscrossed in the back this way. The last seamless bra we have is the Form Seamless Sports Bra. We have reviewed this a couple times. The only change, I believe, is the addition of that mesh lining to keep the pads in place a little bit better. This bra is an absolute size down necessity. I wear an extra small in this one. Probably could do an extra small. Like it is super stretchy and absolutely runs big. So this is a reversible sports bra made of the Shape seamless fabric. It has a high neck cutout detail in the front. This is the more full coverage side. A couple little raised piping details, and then a nice thick ribbed band along the bottom. It can be worn with this way in the back. This side has less coverage, but still pretty good. We have the ruching detail in the front, V neckline and inverted V, and it is a true reversible sports bra. You can switch out the pads to put it on either side. I'll just do a quick try on of this one. All right, form seamless bra in the extra small. First of all, let me just say, so excited to see lipstick red back. I am 100% team lipstick red over salsa red. It's just so flattering. So I was very excited to see, actually we have both in this collection. Anyways, this is the extra small. I just think it fits so much better. It's not too tight anywhere. We do have full coverage in the front, maybe a peak of armpit, but I'm still considering it full coverage. We do have the cutout here. I appreciate the addition of these little stitches in the middle to prevent the cup pads from becoming a uniboob, because that was an issue that I had with the original form seamless. Because of that, I find it a little bit more flattering, but this just isn't my favorite of the seamless bras. It's just a lot of fabric, doesn't really do a whole lot of lifting. I just think the Halter seamless is a much more flattering, large cup size friendly bra. This one is very comfortable if that's your thing. You can also see I'm getting a little bit of lifting of this bottom band here. Cuts away from the armpits nicely, and then we do have this little ruching in the back that you can also wear in the front, so I will show you. But also the support is pretty low to medium, just because there's not a lot of lifting going on. And here is the other side. This one is a little bit more flattering, but then you have this in the back, which is just kind of looks like you're wearing it backwards. This side I would give more of a medium coverage, but again, I'm just not feeling super lifted. Totally forgot the Shape seamless bodysuit is back. This is not a new one and there should be no changes. So I'm just gonna talk through this one. This one is made of the Shape seamless fabric, so it is ultra stretchy. I wear my normal size in this one. I do recommend sticking true to size, but if you do have a shorter torso, you could size down. It'll be a little challenging to get on because it's very shaping, but it is super stretchy. So the top of this bodysuit is kind of giving shapewear to me. I don't love this bodysuit. I think it's okay, but I would have made some changes. So we have a little sweetheart neckline. We have this wide ruche detailing area in the front, which for me makes this look like a Skims bodysuit that's like meant to be shapewear and not actually like outerwear. So that's one of the reasons why I don't love this one. We have tank straps, which is great, but I kind of need my straps to be adjustable on a bodysuit to make it work for my torso. This mostly works for my torso, but I do wish that these straps were adjustable just because they can be a little bit long for me. We do have removable cup pads. There's no separate shelf, but this is one time you actually don't really need it because right underneath you basically have a built-in bra band that goes all the way down the waist. The waist area is actually a double thickness ribbed section. So you have 2 layers of ultra compressive ribbed seamless fabric that really shape the waist. So this bodysuit is giving snatched. It also comes down into a V in the front. Not a lot of lower tummy control depending on how tall you are, but it does go down below the belly button a little bit. Oval gusset, no front seam. Curved seams in the back with a short back rise. So it is going to be flattering on the glutes. For me with my long torso, the seams go up a little bit high in the back. So I don't find this to be super sculpting or shaping like the Miracle Seamless, the top of that one. And then we just have these stretchy marled seamless all the way down the leg. The inseam is 24 inches, but because it's so stretchy and so much vertical stretch, it does fit a wide range of heights. So if you are looking to be snatched in a bodysuit, this one is super snatching, very stretchy. For me personally, I would just find it a little bit more comfortable if the straps were adjustable, but I have worn this for workouts and it has performed well. All right, I guess we'll just finish out the seamless before we move on to non-seamless. Guys, I thought this video would be quick. I say this every time. I don't know who I'm kidding. So we have these seamless long sleeves. They're coming in these 3 colors. I would have wanted like a black or a white because those are my main seamless top layering colors, but I'm just forced to be a little more creative with my mixing and matching. So we have the seamless long sleeve. I got this in a size small, made of a light nylon polyester spandex seamless material. We have a crew neckline, this kind of paneled seamless detailing down the front. You can see all the seamless is kind of this little paneled, and then along the arms we have this little kind of dot detailing. This is the full length version of the top and it is giving a little bit more shape in the waist. In the back we have the Buffbunny logo kind of embroidered into the fabric, and then we have full length sleeves with cuffs at the end with a little kind of wrapped thumbhole situation. If this seamless top looks familiar, it's because it's kind of based off the Buffbunny Synergy seamless top. I loved this top. This is from Felicia's collection 2022. I don't even know, so long ago, but I still wear this top. I have it in white. I wear that all the time. This is technically a new top, but they're similar, so I'm going to compare them. Major differences is the new seamless long sleeve is about 2.5 inches shorter. You can also definitely see a difference in the waist defining area. The original Synergy seamless is just a little bit more boxy. The Synergy seamless did have a cutout hole in the back, which we don't have in the new one, which I'm kind of glad because honestly my back got a little bit cold sometimes. Honestly, the seamless quality just feels a little bit more upgraded in the new one. And then the Synergy seamless thumb holes, we didn't have those ribbed cuffs and the hole was just completely cut out with a little stitching around it. Now we have a true ribbed cuff with this kind of overlapped thumb hole situation here. So let's try them on. Okay. Here we have the seamless long sleeve. They nailed the fit on this. Like, this is the best fit of a long sleeve shirt that I've tried in a while. I'm surprised that the original shirt they had was just like so boxy. It just shows like how far they've come into like tweaking these little designs. So you can tell this just is fitting like a glove, not too tight anywhere, not loose anywhere. We're not getting any too flaring. Finally, things are fitting how they should. So this is going to be our most full length option. It is actually going over my hip bones. My hips are up here. So if you like a top that is even gonna go onto the hips a little bit, it's not as long as the original one. That one I got kind of bunching and I have the world's longest torso. So this is a much better length while still being full length. Crew neckline, lightweight material. This one is a little bit sheer. So just keep in mind, this isn't a top that you wouldn't wear anything under anyway. It's not super sheer, but if I wore a very heavily contrasting color under this, you would see it. The sleeves also feel really good, not too tight on the armpits, not too tight on the arms, and the sleeves are the perfect length without any bunching at the wrists. I really love the thumb holes here. The ribbed cuffs just kind of elevate it a little bit. And last thing I wanted to say, this is not the halo material. This is not the same material as the baby tees that Buffbunny's been doing. Those are even more sheer. This is definitely more opaque than that, and this one is also a little bit more sweat wicking, sweat friendly. Seamless tops like this are my favorite to like sweat in on long walks and runs, so I'm very excited for the return. And then we have the embroidered logo up at the top there, that little panel detailing all the way down, just very basic, but fits really well. Next, we have the seamless long sleeve baby tees. Same exact details as the seamless long sleeve. The only change is the length. So I'll do a little comparison of this versus the seamless long sleeve. The seamless long sleeve is about 20 inches from a neckline to hem, and the baby tee is about 16 inches. I'm wearing it right now, we'll see it in a minute, but I really like the length of this one. It's a perfect baby tee waist length fit. It's not super cropped. Let's try them on. All right, here's our seamless long sleeve baby tee. It finally has a good baby tee length. I do feel like this is longer than the Halo baby tees because I'm wearing a mid to high rise legging and we're getting basically full coverage here. It does go all the way to my belly button. So a true waist length, maybe even slightly longer. So between a waist length and a high hip, I'd say more towards waist length. Ultra lightweight, stretchy, seamless materials. I love this kind of top for layering, mostly on long walks if I want some sun coverage, as well as runs in the winter. I find these great because it just kind of helps a little bit with that cold weather, but you can still sweat and it dries very easily. Speaking of sweat, I have been sitting in this shirt for a while. Okay, it is gonna show a little bit of sweat, but honestly, I've been in this shirt for a couple hours now because filming took a while. Crew neckline, nothing cutting too close to my neck. Everything feels very comfortable, true to size. If you're in between, size down if you want it to be super, super tight. I don't feel anything super tight even on my arms, luckily. Sometimes seamless tops can be very constricting on the arms. I feel like this is good, but if you want a little bit more space, obviously size up. Here we have those seamless cuffs. I really like them on this top because instead of just having like a very constricting little hole to put your thumb through, we have this whole area here. And I just feel like it's a little bit more comfortable on the hand. Also, I cut my finger on a cat food little can today, so sliced it pretty deep. Luckily, it's a pinky. And then here's the back. I like that they did the little embroidered B logo in like the purpley pink. You can also see here that the lunar blues don't really match up with the ombre on the bottom. And it's a little different than the lunar blue on the shorts too. So we got all three lunar blues here. They're all a little bit different. So keep that in mind when grabbing your pair. I know you guys like a full set, so it's a little bit of a bummer that they're not quite a perfect match. All right, now that we're done with seamless, we're going to breeze through the butter pieces. These are basically all repeat pieces, just coming in some new colors. First up, we have the aggressive scrunch shorts. So I actually wear a medium in these now. I used to wear a small and I was getting the most insane camel like ever. It was painful. Like I honestly, like I had to like quit a workout once because I was wearing those and they were so bad. Ever since I sized up, it is honestly no longer a problem. The only drawback is the thigh area is so stretchy and a little bit loose in the size up that they can ride up a little bit. So anyways, just a quick overview of the aggressive scrunch. We are getting a bunch of tie-dye colors. This is the Peach Rings tie-dye, as well as some solid colors. These are made out of the butter fabric, which historically hasn't held up the best. I have chatted with the design team about making it more durable, and I will say I used to literally get pilling where my seatbelt hits along the front of the legging, and I have worn several of the newer butter pieces and I have not gotten that immediate pilling. I still think these are definitely more pill prone than Nubri over time, but I do think it is a little bit improved. I wouldn't consider this entirely pill resistant, but I will say I do get a little bit less pilling than I have in the past. We have no top band, kind of tapered top waistband. That's another reason why I could size up here, is because the waistband was pretty snappy snatching in my normal size. Soft V front, no front seam, oval gusset, and then these are a true 7-inch inseam with a very stretchy and wide thigh opening. And then in the back, we have the aggressive scrunch. So we have these curved glute seams, and then we have an elastic up the back rise, but also this scrunched effect back here that doesn't look scrunched when it's on. And this is supposed to be one of the more short glute friendly options. It's definitely more of like a mid to high rise legging. We have the silicone tonal branding. I will just do a quick side-by-side of the small versus the medium, just to show the difference, especially if you do have a long torso and tend to struggle with camel issues when the rise is kind of shorter. I would recommend sizing up in these. So let's try these on. All right, here we have the aggressive scrunch shorts. These are actually hitting at a nice high rise in the medium. In the small, they're more of a mid to high rise. So I do suggest sizing up. These don't feel too loose anywhere. They're just not really squeezing me, and they were already a low compression because they're a very naked feel fabric. So we're getting low compression, high rise. The waist is tapered, but it's not squeezing. And the biggest thing for me is that I don't get any crotch tension in the medium. They were unwearable for me in the small. So to have that in the medium, it just is not uncomfortable at all. So much better. We have the 7-inch inseam, and they are very, very stretchy, almost a little too stretchy because I do notice in my workout, it just wants to slide right up. So I wish that they were a little bit more snug on the thighs. And that even happened in the small. We do have a seam at the side, and then in the back, they do sit right above the glutes. That scrunch stretches out to just give a good contour there. I feel like I probably get a little bit less glute contouring in the medium, but again, I don't really care. I'd rather be able to wear them. If you haven't gotten crotch tension in the past, no need to size up, but if it has been an issue for you and you've been really wanting to wear some of these colors, then I would suggest trying a size up. And I just wanted to show the peach rings. Tie-dye, keep in mind, tie-dye can kind of vary from piece to piece. So like my top is a little bit more dark than the bottoms, but yeah, we have the tie-dye. Feels exactly the same. No differences between the solids and the tie-dyes. And just wanted to share, I would give this a medium to high on the booty scale, maybe leaning towards high. Honestly, it's kind of different between non-seamless and seamless leggings in terms of booty scale. Like for non-seamless, it's high. If you want to compare these to the Miracle Seamless, it's medium to high. But we are getting aggressive scrunch leggings as well. I didn't pick any up for this launch. The aggressive scrunch leggings are a little bit tougher. Just quickly going over the aggressive scrunch leggings, similar rise to the shorts, kind of a mid to high, just like right below the belly button. Low compression, high on the booty scale, no front seam, tapered waistband. I do get a little squeezing at the very top of the waist, even though this is a very stretchy legging. The back, we have those curved seams that scrunch in the back, so they are very flattering. Butter is not going to be very cellulite friendly, but the tie-dye will kind of help with that. These are a 26-inch inseam, and I find it harder to size up in the leggings because they could have the tendency to slide down. You don't have that issue with the shorts because shorts just don't slide down like leggings do. So I do have some camel issues with the aggressive scrunch leggings. This is going to vary from person to person, but for me, I don't love the aggressive scrunch legging form just because of that discomfort there. Then we have the aggressive scrunch flare leggings. They're only coming in this blue tie-dye. I do think these are a lot of pattern, a lot going on, but I just thought they only come in one color and I wanted to try them. So this is the Blue Bubbles tie-dye. Blue Bubbles was actually one of my colors from my launch, so very excited to see her back. These are unchanged from before. Soft V-front waistband, no front seam. We do have that flare leg. The aggressive scrunch flares come in 3 inseams. We have the short, which is 31, regular, which is 33, and tall, which is 35 inches. Because the aggressive scrunch takes up a little fabric around the glutes, you lose about an inch, which is why these are a little longer than a traditional flare legging. Same details in the back. We've been going over it. Let's try these on and see if they fit like the originals. All right, here are the aggressive scrunch flares. Again, my top has a lot more than the bottom, but I still think it goes. This just reminds me of clouds. So I got a size small in the bottoms. They are hitting at a high rise. I'm not super squeezed in the waist, but I have been moving around in these and I'm getting a good amount of crotch tension. Like the second I squat in these, we have a problem. So that's unfortunate. Again, this isn't going to happen with everyone. If you haven't had this issue in the past, it's not going to be a problem, but I just think that if I sized up in the leggings, especially the flares, it would just be a lot of fabric and I don't think they would stay up quite as well. Everything else fits well. It's just that problem. So kind of annoying. Anyways, still very low compression because these are a very thin, naked feel fabric. Personally, I do prefer Nubri and Poshnit over the butter. They're more durable and they just have a little bit more hold. They just kind of shape the body a little bit better, kind of hold you in the right places. But if you do like an ultra naked feel fabric, we do have the butter. We have that seam up the side, and then in the back, we have the curved seams around the glutes with the scrunch that nicely stretches out so that you just get that glute sculpting without any actual fabric gathering. Medium to high, too high on the booty scale. You will get some cellulite coverage in this one because of the tie-dye pattern. And then full length view, this 35-inch inseam is good for me. It's kind of on the floor, but with a shoe, it would be kind of the perfect height. I believe this happened in the last aggressive scrunch flares. You know, I don't know if I would really consider this a Clydesdale moment. I think these actually are thick calf friendly. They do skim my calves and they flare right at the bulk of the calves, maybe slightly below, but honestly, because of the pattern, it's really hard to see. So I would say that these don't give too much of a Clydesdale moment, and these are wearable for me. It's just a crotch tension, which isn't as big of a deal for lifestyle because I'm not moving around as much, but let me know what you guys think. These are definitely a bold choice. This launch is so much longer than I thought. Let's move into the butter sports bras. So first we have the double dip butter sports bra, made of the butter fabric, scoop neck, tank straps, scooped in the back. I actually really love this one. I find it very seamless looking, very secure. I'll do a quick side-by-side of this versus the original. Main changes, they moved the straps in a little bit since they were falling off a little bit more before. They also dropped the shoulder a little bit around the lats because it was cutting in. So just two minor changes, but they fit very similar to before. So let's try it on. All right, here we have the double dip sports bra with Peach, who is mad that I'm not sitting. Yeah. You can tell that she's mad because she squints at me. She actually has human facial expressions. It's actually crazy. I will sit when I'm done. I've been filming for like 5 hours. All right, double dip sports bra. This one I think is more flattering for larger cup sizes. Oh my gosh, Peach. Now she's biting my ankles because she wants me to sit with her. Peach, I can't. I know I'm working. I know. All right, I think this is more flattering for larger cup sizes. Smaller cup sizes, you just may feel a little bit too much coverage, but honestly, I'm giving this a nice medium to full coverage. I do think that the strap change is actually pretty noticeable now that I have it on. I have worn this top for a couple workouts and I have not experienced any falling off. This one just stays put really well. So medium to full coverage. We have that nice little elastic around all of these little edges that just allows it to stay put really well. Support is, I would say, low to medium, maybe medium depending on your cup size. Nicely scoops away from the lats now. And then in the back, just very simple. This is just one of those bras that like should be a staple because it just looks really good. And I also like that it is a short line, but it's very secure along the bottom, so you're never gonna fall out of it. Next, we have the Glow sports bra. This is another butter sports bra that I would recommend for smaller cup sizes only. This one does not work for me. So made of the butter fabric, we have a twist in the front that gives us a little V neck and a little inverted V along the bottom. The straps kind of taper out and then turn into elasticated straps that crisscross, and then you have a little crisscross area in the back. This one, if you're in between sizes, I would recommend sizing up. You can size up for a little more coverage as well. I have done that in the past, but it still is definitely not BTC approved. I do fall out of this one at the gym. It's a low coverage, low support. It does have cup pads and it's cute, but I'm kind of over the twisted sports bra look. Like they just never really were enough support or coverage for me. All right, super quick, Alpha sports bra. We've seen her before. This is our only Nubri piece. I know this is in the butter section. This is actually Nubri, so a little bit more dense of a fabric, a little bit more support. I just got this cute color in the summer sale launch. This one is an OG Buffbunny bra. We have a V neckline. We have this nice little triangle cup space, and it looks like it wouldn't be large cup size friendly, but it actually is. It's about a medium coverage and low to medium support. Part of the reason why it just works for larger cup sizes is because of this long line area. We have these two little panels of long line area at the bottom. It's obviously still a cleavagey moment for the larger cup sizes, but I've worn this to the gym so many times. I've worn it to Pilates. I've worn it to Solidcore. Like I just don't fall out of this one. We have these thick tank straps. They're just made out of the fabric, but the Nubri fabric is structured enough to support that. And then you have a little crisscross detail in the back. This one has been around for years and years, and it's just always a favorite. Then we have the Curve sports bra. This is another favorite butter sports bra for me. My top two butter sports bras are going to be the double dip and the Curve. I do size up in this one. There is some sizing discrepancy in this launch. Obviously, I feel like I'm sizing up, sizing down. I 100% recommend sizing up. This is a medium in this bra and it fits like a small. This one is one of the only bras that does not come with cup pads. And you guys know I'm a cup pad girly. I don't even put cup pads into this one. It has space for the cup pads, but I don't even put them in because something about this bra, I don't know. I just never feel like I need it. You can get nippage, so be aware. We have a high neckline. It kind of scoops away from the shoulders here and this kind of curved under bust detail. It is a very short line sports bra. So again, another reason to size up for just a little bit more space. This tapered skinny racer back scoops nicely away from the lats. I'll do a quick side by side of this, of the medium versus the small. I can get into the small, but the seams kind of curl under a little bit at the sides and it's just very, very tight. So if you are a small cup size, you probably could stick true to size, but just expect to be compressed. I do recommend everyone size up in this bra. Lastly, I give this a medium full coverage because you do get a little scoop away from the armpit area, so it's not full coverage. And then the support is about a medium support. One of my favorite bras for any activity where I'm like leaning over a lot. Like this is a great bra for solid core because I just know I'm never gonna fall out of it. And lastly, the butter bandeau crop is back with some changes. So we did first see this in the Juicy collection. This is a butter fabric crop that does have a full built-in shelf liner. So it actually does work for larger cup sizes in terms of coverage. I got this in a size small here. The main changes, they said there were no fit changes, but it is a little bit wider at this top area. So I had sized up in the past. I stuck true to size for this one and I would recommend staying true to size. It just kind of keeps you in a little bit better. If you're a small cup size and you really liked the fit of the original, I would even consider sizing down. This one can be worn as a bandeau. It does have the silicone lining all the way along the top, but you can also add this adjustable halter strap. And the second change they made was that they reinforced the area that holds in this strap, because I'm not even kidding, I wore my lipstick red butter bandeau crop to Disney last year. So excited to wear it. I had this whole outfit planned. I put the strap on, it flings off because the stitching was so bad before. The stitching is much better. Here's that stitching now, a lot more secure. I'll insert a photo of what it was before, but yeah, let's try this on. All right, here we are with the butter bandeau crop. This one I would consider still like a longer cropped length, not quite waist length. We have the bandeau shape with the silicone lining. I prefer to wear this with the halter strap. While I don't love a halter, I like a halter more than I like a bandeau because it's actually gonna stay up. We have that built-in shelf liner. It actually has pretty decent coverage. I go with medium to full coverage. It is really gonna squeeze you around the armpit area, but that's just to keep you contained. I would stick true to size for this one. I feel like sizing up is just gonna be a little bit too loose and it could result in it sliding down. It fits well everywhere else, lots of stretch. And then in the back, it actually scoops a little bit below the lats, so it's nice and comfortable. And they did widen it just a little bit at the top. For me, it's like barely even noticeable, but if you are a very small cup size, you may want to size down. My suggestion is to stay true to size because it's still pretty tight, but just know that they did loosen it up a little bit. And I'm very glad that they adjusted the sewing here so it stays up better. And lastly, we did it, guys. Our last item, we have the strong short sleeve tee. The name of the collection is StrongAF. So I believe this is the Pop Rocks color and then kind of like a coral, almost guava. Little graphic here. Just a 100% cotton tee, crew neckline, short sleeves. Let's try it on. All right. The tee is made of 100% cotton, but actually has a little bit of give to it. The length is a classic unisex tee fit. It does go over the hips a little bit. This is a size small, and it's kind of, I'd say perfectly oversized for me. If you want it really oversized, obviously size up. We have that graphic along the front. I like that it's kind of subtle, and you could match this to a couple different colors. Yeah. Okay guys, that is everything launching. That was a long day of filming, and don't worry, Peach finally got her lap time, so she's no longer biting my ankles. In terms of top picks of the launch, honestly, I really grew to love the Miracle Seamless shorts. I know they're very in your face. At first, I wasn't so sure about them, but that's how I thought about the Amplify shorts at first. They're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but they are very, very flattering. I really like the shorts, and then also the Halter Seamless sports bra is my favorite. I also highly recommend the seamless long sleeve tees, the full length or the baby tees. I will be getting so much use out of them. And then if you are an aggressive scrunch girly, I tend to wear the aggressive scrunch just because I like to match them with the tops that I love, like the curved sports bra and the double dip. But the butter fabric is just not my favorite, so you have to really love a true naked feel fabric for that. I prefer Nubri and Poshnit. Again, I wear them, I like them. Are they my holy grails? No, but if you like that naked feel, you have a shorter torso, and you like a little scrunch action, those are definitely going to be for you. All right, that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this very long video that was supposed to be very short. Say it every time. The launch is happening on Saturday, August 16th at 1 p.m. Central Time. And as always, you can use code Kathryn if this video helped you out. It saves 10%. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.